Hello, good afternoon students. How are you? I hope you are good. So, are you enjoying your life? But academics are also necessary. Modals, or you may call them modal auxiliary verbs. So, let me explain it first. Modal auxiliary verbs. What is modal? Modal means we are talking about helping. Auxiliary means helping. So, modal helping verbs, right? That means we are using certain helping verbs that are used to express mood, notion, concept of the subject, right? If I say I can lift this box, what? I can lift this box. So what does it mean? It means I am telling you, I am expressing my ability that I am able to lift this box. If I say I shall go, if I say I will go, they both have different mood, right? So these things we are going to learn today, and that is very important. So let me tell you overall how many modal auxiliary verbs are there. How many? Auxiliary means helping, right? So will, shall, would, should, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, used to, dare and need. Overall 13 modals are there. Actually, be is also there, have is also there, but in your curriculum, in your course, only these are there. So we have to study them. Before I start teaching you these modals one by one, let me tell you some important tips of these modals or modal auxiliary verbs. First, all these 13 modals we are talking about, they take only first form of the verb V1. In short, we have written V1. They take purely first form of the verb, and this is known as bare infinitive. Bare means without and infinitive means to. Means 2 plus V1 is not used, only first form of the verb is used, right? With modals. Second, 2 plus V1 means infinitive verb is never used. Means we can never say he will to go, I shall to go, he would to go. No, right? So only V1 is used, 2 is not used. Next, dare and need are known as semi-modals. All other 11 modals are modal auxiliary verbs, but dare and need are known as semi-modals. Why? Because we can use these two modals like main verb also. As main verb also they can be used, as helping verb also they can be used. That's why they are known as semi-modals. Okay? And rest of all words, all these verbs can be used as purely modals, but these two can be used as main verb as well as helping verb. Okay? You can see dare and need are known as semi-modals because they may be used as main verb as well as modals. They are used in negative and interrogative sentence only. This is very important, children. Keep it in your mind that dare and need are used in only negative and interrogative sentences when we use them as modals, right? And rest of all others may be used in affirmative, negative, interrogative, interrogative sentences, right? But these two can be used in negative and interrogative sentences only. Is that clear? Next, used to is never repeated in one sentence or paragraph, right? Used to, actually used to and would, look here, used to and would, these two, they are used to express past habits, right? Past habits means what used to happen in past. So they both are used to express past habits, past events, right? But the most important rule about them is, in one sentence, in one paragraph, if we are talking about the same incident, then we can use used to only once, and after that, whenever it is required to be used, we will not use it, but we will use would only every time after it, right? So used to is never repeated in one sentence or paragraph. In that case, would is preferred, right? In place of used to, we have to use would only, but the condition is meaning should be past habits, okay? Next, shall is never used in interrogative sentences. Are you getting my point? What is interrogative sentences? Interrogative means questions. We are asking some questions, right? Questions. There are two types of questions, or we may say there are two ways when we can ask something to someone. For example, first type of questions always demand their answers in yes or no. So whatever the questions demand their answers in yes or no, they generally begin with helping verbs or modals. For example, do you like tea? Yes sir, I like tea. No sir, I do not like tea. Can you help me? Yes sir, I can help you. No sir, I cannot help you. So these are first type of questions. And second type of interrogative sentences or questions demand their answers in detail, right? So such questions begin with question words, interrogative pronouns like what, where, why, which, who, whom, whose, etc., etc. So whenever you find any question beginning with question words, right, so their answers will be in detail. But if you find any question beginning with helping verbs or modals, mind it, their answers will always begin with yes or no only. If I say, what is your name? We can never say, yes sir. If I say, do you like tea? Brook Bond sir. No, these are wrong delivery of questions, right? So I think you have got it. So this is just pre-introduction of modals. So students, have a look now at all modals one by one. So the first modal is will, okay? So generally we use it, we think that will and shall are used in future tense only, but not like that. They may be used in other ways also. For example, future tense, he will go to Jaipur tomorrow. He will go to Jaipur tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow is there, but this is not sure. Future is full of uncertainty. So we can say future will, he will, she will, it will. Means third person singular, we use third person plural, they will, right? And second person, you will. So in short we can say in future tense, he will, she will, it will, they will, you will. Okay. Next is willingness. Will is used to express willingness also. right? She will come to learn English from you means this is her wish. She wants to learn English from you. So we can say she will come to learn English from you. Okay? Real condition. Conditional sentences, students, we use will and shall, right? So in the main clause, you know, in conditional sentences, two clauses are there, if clause and main clause. So in main clause, we use will or shall, right? You can see here, if it rains, what will happen? The main clause is, he will not go to see the match, right? He will go to see the match only when it does not rain. So we can say, if it rains, he will not go to see the match, right? Promise, determination. Whenever we make a promise, we determine, we decide, right? Whenever we want to show our intention, in that case we use will, but the subjects are I and we only, not he will, she will, it will, they will, you will. No, because they are used in future tense only. But when we mean to say we are making promise, we are talking about determination, we will use I will, we will. Freedom is our birthright and we will get it, we will have it. So it shows determination. We will surely help you, it shows promise, right? So I will, we will. So students, next we are going to learn the uses of shall. Okay, so the first use of shall is just same, what? Future tense. You know, in the use of will also we learnt it. The first use of will and shall is future tense, right? So we can say in future tense we use shall for the subjects I and we. But if the subjects are other than I and we, means you, they, he, she, it, in future tense we use will. But if the subjects are I and we use shall. So I shall go to Delhi the next day. I shall go to Delhi the next day. So it shows futurity, right? So this is future tense. And second use of shall is offer, right? Means whenever we are making an offer, we should begin our sentence with shall I, right? The structure may look like that of interrogative sentence, but actually these are not interrogative sentences. Do you remember in the beginning of the class I told you some important tips? I gave you some important tips, and one of them was shall is never used in interrogative sentences. Means to ask questions we never use shall, but here the structure look like that of interrogative sentence, but its meaning is not question. Its meaning is we are making an offer. We want to know the opinion of somebody, opinion of the second person. So to know the opinion or to make an offer, we use shall I. For example, we can say shall I fetch a glass of water for you? Means from our own side we are making this offer. If we see somebody in need of water, so we are saying if you need, shall I fetch. Fetch means go and bring. This is not bring. means first of all we will go and then bring, that is fetch. So shall I fetch a glass of water for you? This is offer. Okay. Next one is suggestion. If we want to make any suggestion, then in that case we will begin our sentence with shall we. Look, once again it looks like an interrogative sentence, but this is not. Okay, so shall we is used when we make a suggestion, right? For example, shall we go for a walk? Shall we go for a walk? Or its meaning is let us or let's go for a walk. You can see both are same. Let us, it means suggestion. Shall we, it also means suggestion. So both are same. But here we are learning modals. That's why I am telling you shall we expresses suggestion and shall I expresses offer. Okay, and the last one is the same. What? Whenever we mean to say threatening or command or promise, we use shall. But you must be confused, you may be confused that promise we used will, but don't worry, it is the matter of subjects, means you, he, she, it and they. Or in short we can say whenever subjects are other than I and we, and the mood is threatening, we are threatening someone, we are commanding, we are giving commands or promise, in that case we use shall, right? For example, you shall not go anywhere. If we say you shall not go anywhere, what does it mean? It means we are giving command, strict instructions to the person that he is not supposed to move. In that case we say you shall not, right? So next modal is would. This is also very interesting. So the first use of would is past form of will, past form of will. Okay, so whenever we wish to say past form of will, we should use would, right? Means if the first part of the sentence is in past tense, so the second part of the sentence will be, if it is in future, so we will use would, not will. For example, he said that he would not come to school the next day. Okay students, you can say he said, this is past and this is future, so will is not to be used, but instead past form of will, because this is past. If it is he says, then we will use he will not come, but this is past, so here also past form will be used. So he would not come to school the next day. Okay, so the next one is wish, and wish means would like, right? Generally would like is used to express wish. You can see what would you like to have in dinner tonight, right? We are asking the person, what do you wish to have? But we are using modal, so we can say, what would you like to have in dinner tonight? I would like to go for stuffed paratha. In this way we can express our wish. I would like, he would like, she would like. Now I would like to ask you one question. So I wish to ask, right? So wish. Next is improbable conditions, right? Whenever we wish to express improbable conditions. What is improbable conditions? That means we are talking about something which is not real, which is not possible in real life, but which is possible in imaginary world only. So we use would. Look here. If I were the CM, means Chief Minister. If I were the CM, I would abolish social evils. Means I am not CM and this is not possible for me to be a CM, but still I am just in my imaginary world. So I must say, if I were the CM, I would. Okay. So for improbable conditions we use. Then polite request, right? So we can say, would you please? You know, in request we generally say, will you please? General request. But if the request is polite request, we say, would you please? Okay. So we can say, this is not question. This is used when we are asking for permission, right? So would you please help me? So in this way would is used. Okay.